Okay, let's talk a little bit about the research process or my research process. So one of the things you have to do is come up with a process that works for you to find your research, right? And it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. And I'll tell you how my process first started. So when I first got to college, I'd check out all these books at the library, right, and lay them all out. And when I found something I needed, I put a little sticky note in there. The problem with that is I could never find the quote I was looking for once I did that because um, it's all over this page and you're looking for one or two sentences on this page. And I couldn't highlight or underline in the book because it was a library's book. I had to return it. So that didn't work for me. So the next thing I tried was to just, when I found a quote I liked, I would uh, type up the quote, put it on a document, put the page number, and that was kind of it. But that also became hard because then I couldn't remember where the source was or why I wanted to use it necessarily. So then I kind of came up with this research tracker idea where I just created a simple table and I put the source, how I kind of plan to use it, and those are notes just for me. So sometimes it's a sentence, sometimes it's just a phrase, the quotes that I thought might be helpful, and then the website where I got it from, because you always need to use that. So the first place I wanted to go for my research was to kind of define what Neapolitan pizza is, because there's a lot of different kinds of pizza, right? There's deep dish, New York style, etc. And Neapolitan pizza is from Naples, Italy. It's said to be kind of the birthplace of pizza, and they have some very specific rules about what their pizzas should be. And so I went to this source here. And I thought kind of defining our terms of what pizza would be helpful, or at least the pizza I'm going to argue about. The next thing that I really thought was important is to find some praise for Il Forno. Like, I can't be the only one that thinks it's awesome, right? I have to have some sort of proof to suggest that this is not just one person's opinion. So I thought about going to a couple of places in town that do a lot of reviews. The Express News, our local paper, and the San Antonio Current, which is another local style paper. The Express News is really helpful because they have an award-winning restaurant review section. Every year they're up for awards for their writing because they're really critical, they write really well. So I thought that would be a good way to back up my research. But as I was looking through all these articles looking for praise for Il Forno, another restaurant kept coming up, which is Dough, which has also gotten a lot of praise in our city for being incredible pizza. And I felt like I couldn't ignore that, right? Like I didn't want to write about Dough because I'm like, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Il Forno. But it kept coming up. So I decided to find some research on Dough, what made him good. And then when I realized that Il Forno had a better review than Dough by the Express News, I said, boom, that's what I needed. So now I have some things to compare Il Forno to. So it's not just like, oh yeah, I don't know anything about the other pizza in town. And I also have a rebuttal or a rebuttal that suggests, okay, yeah, Dough is really good, but even here we kind of think that Il Forno might be better. So this just happened organically. I didn't think I was going to add this, and then it just happened because I kept seeing Dough pop up. And I got to be honest with you, this also kept popping up. So as I'm doing my research, I was seeing some of the stuff that was going on TV with social justice. The NBA players and other athletes were striking. And I kept thinking to myself, why am I talking about pizza? Yeah, this is fun. And the reason why I picked this particular topic is you're my audience, right? Students. And I thought, man, hopefully you guys like to read about food. I love food, and that'll be an interesting topic for you. But I just kept feeling like I was being basic or shallow, right? Like I'm not talking about anything big here, anything heavy. And I realized that one of the reasons why I love Dough so much is that they use locally sourced ingredients, which we talked about in the paper. And then after a little bit of research about those ingredients, I found out that they're really good for the environment. It's better to use those for the environment, and it also supports local wages or better wages for their workers. And I said, okay, this is really why it matters, right? It's not just about pizza that tastes good. It's about a restaurant that's doing things that are serving a better purpose or a greater purpose for our community in San Antonio and for the environment. And I said, okay, now this is why I really care about Dough, or I'm sorry, why I really care about Il Forno, and why their pizza matters so much to me. And so, I took kind of a fun topic and I really found something bigger going on there that made me a lot more satisfied as the writer, hopefully more convincing as the writer, And hopefully, as my audience, you still found that engaging, even though I wasn't just talking about the pizza. So I want you to think about your topic, and maybe you're writing about something super fun, like your favorite artist, your favorite song, or your favorite movie. But what about that makes it so great? What's its bigger purpose? Why are you drawn to it on a level that's just more than, oh, it's fun for me. I like it as an interest. Um, so as you go back to your research, I want you to think about, um, do you have a research process that's working for you? Are you having a hard time finding things? Maybe you need to go to some more local reviews, some other avenues. Um, or are you getting your quotes, but you don't exactly know how to put them in an order that makes sense to you? And then do you need to find more research or different kinds of research to better support your purpose? So my purpose changed, right? I started off just arguing about pizza, but then it came to really thinking about why food matters to me as a whole, and how I support people with my money, um, and what are the things I want to support with my money. So the purpose changed. And you'll see I kind of just organized my paper in that fashion, but that happened organically too, based on my research. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit, about the organization of my paper and why I decided to do it like that.